Hi everyone, this is Delaney Rose. This video is about my second time with 5-MeO-DMT. So my first time was very ecstatic and blissful. I had this union and it was just like activating, I was tingling, almost orgasmic. Second time, not so much. The second time I had an intention to release all that no longer served me, so I can align to my highest vibrancy and to just kind of soften me up, because I always felt like very guarded and slightly rigid at times. Like I just wanted to heal the trauma in my body and in my design. So I went into it with that intention, and as I inhaled, I leaned back. I found myself in this infinite loop of death and rebirth. So once I'd just completely able to surrender, I would feel like intense energy building up, like I was supposed to do something with it. It was like creative energy, and I was like, well, what do I do with this? What do I do here? So I would just say, I love you, and then I'd be like, fuck, am I really letting go though? Stop saying that. So then I would be quiet and surrender, so I would die again. And the minute I would start to die again, I'd go back into that light, and that's when I'd be like, okay, here, I have to do something here. What do I do with all this energy? What do I do here? So I'd continue with I love you. And so basically it was this infinite loop of death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth, almost to the point where I was like, what's the point of this? Why am I doing this? Just to get the fact that like it's just we're in an infinite loop, everything dies and comes back and dies and comes back, and we have to create and then die and create, die, create, die. Okay, cool, I got it. But then I finally had a breakthrough, and I felt myself just like going into like this new like creation. It almost felt like Inception, but like it was like this weird industrial type design, architecture like type place, but it was really lit. It was very bright and white and illuminated, and just in between things there was like this like pastel rainbow, just kind of like creating energy all around. And I think that was telling me to like, okay, this is where you create your new reality. You have now released this cycle that you've been in, these patterns that you've been reliving over and over and over and over again. You finally release them, so now let's create a new reality. And so as I was trying to do that, I started to feel like I was coming back though. So I think that was just the initiative, like point of consciousness, where I was like, okay, now this is your opportunity to create a new reality and not be in this infinite cycle that you've been trapped in your whole life, from trauma that you've accumulated from birth and relationships and whatnot. I have not always had the best relationship with my mother since I was younger, so I feel like when you have a traumatic relationship with one of your parents, you attract relationships that are not always the most loving. And I've had a lot of friends and lovers that have betrayed me, and I kept attracting people like that. I've never really found true friends and true love, and I feel like I was breaking that pattern. I was breaking that trauma. And as I was returning, a lot of emotions came back to me. A lot of like people I loved came back to me, and I just had to let go. I was like, let go, let go. And so I let go of all this energy. I kept saying, let go, because I kept feeling like if I kept saying I love you, because I would say that when I was in like creation mode, I wasn't fully letting go. Like it was still my ego saying I love you. So I was like, okay, don't say anything. And then I would just die again and melt and just like, and then back to the light. So as I was coming back though, I did have to relive all these like relationships with people, and I just started crying, and like it was extremely emotional, not like the first trip, but I was happy because it was making me vulnerable and be able to trust again. And I was just so vulnerable in front of these people, and just it felt good. And I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh my god, I'm crying, I'm such a drag, all these emotions. These people were like, okay, is this over? But it felt really good to be able to be vulnerable and trust. And so when I got out of it, there was a fire at my feet, and I got up and I just flew into it. And I was just like, that's done, that's the end. Like, this is a black moon, new moon, we're going to make a new reality. And it was in Leo, so it's like all about creation and playfulness and art and expression and love. And so you know, I was just feeling all those energies, but also I didn't feel quite ecstatic and quite as charged as the first time. I felt very vulnerable, almost as if I had to go rest and just take care of myself and love myself. So I came home and I took a bath and tried grounding and integrating what I just processed, you know. And I realized that there was like this energy in my womb that just needed to be released. And I did this womb meditation to release the energy. And so I was doing that, this like crazy, almost like Kali type women energy just flew out of me into like the sky. And I was just like, oh my God, that had to be that like toxic feminine energy. Like that was just making me super rigid, super controlling, super fearful. And it was no longer needed. It was blocking me from love. It was blocking me from being soft and vulnerable and trusting people and attracting the same type of people. So it was an interesting experience. So my second trip was definitely about releasing trauma and peeling off these things that no longer need to be part of our story or design, and entering this new paradigm of creation. And I can't wait to go back because it was so cool and beautiful. And I think ever since my second trip, when I close my eyes now and I go into meditation or just like kind of focus on this region, I hear this loud, like almost like crackle, but like also like if an airplane was ascending. White noise. It's beautiful. It's not like annoying or painful or anything. And it's only when I focus, it's like not every time I just close my eyes. It's when I like hold my breath in or kind of focus on this or kind of roll my eyes back a little bit while my eyes are closed, I start to feel like my crown expanding. So it's really cool because like I've read that like 5-MeO-DMT does have reactivations. So sometimes, you know, if I smoke pot or something, or if I just meditate, like I have those reactivations, and I'm just learning how to work with this new thing that I have. And some people say it's Kundalini, and I'm not sure quite yet what it is, but I love it. And if I focus on parts of my body and do that thing, I can start to feel energy moving through me, and just kind of like, it feels really sweet and nice and gentle. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's the explanation of my second trip with 5-MeO. And I can't wait to explore more and integrate this medicine and share it. And just so fascinating how nature has medicine for us. And, it's beautiful. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or want to chat or anything about your experience, feel free to leave a comment, email me. In the description box, there's my email. If you like this, please like and share. Subscribe if you want to keep, you know, yourself in the flow with me. And if you guys, you know, want to connect, just find a way. There's lots of ways here. Alrighty. Bye.